My girlfriend rolled her eyes and said, "You're not my father. I don't need a curfew. After coming home at dawn." I said, "I know." The next night, the door was deadbolted with a note taped to it. What the note said: 31 male, am sitting in my apartment right now, listening to the increasingly frantic knocking that started about 20 minutes ago. My phone's on silent, lighting up like a Christmas tree. Time to type this out while it's fresh. My girlfriend Megan, 28, and I have been together for 2 years, living together for the last 8 months. When she moved in, it felt right. We talked about boundaries, respect, shared responsibilities, adult stuff. She'd been living with roommates before, party girls who treated their place like a 24/7 nightclub. Said she was ready for something more mature. First few months were great. Quiet nights in, cooking together, building something real. Then about 2 months ago, her old roommate Tessa started going through a breakup. Suddenly Megan was needed for emergency girls' nights. Fine, we all need friends during tough times, but emergency nights became regular nights. Twice a week became 4. Coming home at midnight became 2 a.m., became 4 a.m., became not coming home at all sometimes. Last weekend was the breaking point. Friday night, she left around 9 p.m. "Megan, Tessa needs me tonight. Don't wait up." "When will you be back?" "Not sure. Late probably." Didn't hear from her all night. No texts, calls going straight to voicemail. Finally dragged myself to bed around 3 a.m., worried sick. Woke up at 6:30 to the sound of keys fumbling at the door. She stumbled in, shoes in hand, makeup smeared. Me, "Where were you?" I was worried. Megan, laughing, "God, you sound like my dad." Me, "I texted you 5 times, called twice. Phone died, chill." Saw her phone light up on the counter, definitely not dead. Me, "Look, I'm not trying to control you, but living together means basic respect. A text saying you're safe, some idea when you'll be home." That's when she said it. Rolled her eyes so hard I'm surprised they didn't fall out. "Megan, you're not my father. I don't need a curfew. I'm a grown woman." Me, "I know." She seemed surprised I didn't argue more. Kissed my cheek, mumbled something about needing sleep, and passed out until 2 p.m. Spent Saturday thinking. She was right about one thing. I'm not her father. I'm her landlord. See, this apartment? It's mine. Bought it 3 years ago when the market dipped. Her name's not on the lease, the mortgage, nothing. She sends me $800 a month for her half, which honestly doesn't even cover a third of my actual costs, but I wanted to be fair. Saturday night, she went out again. Didn't even tell me this time, just got dressed up and left while I was in the shower. Found a note with Tessa. "Don't be weird about it." That's when I made my decision. Sunday morning, while she was still passed out, came home around 5 a.m. I went to the hardware store, bought a deadbolt, the kind that only locks from the inside, installed it myself, YouTube University for the win. Also got one of those chain locks for extra security. Sunday night, she left again around 8 p.m. Crop top, mini skirt, the works. Megan, going out with the girls. Me, have fun. Soon as her Uber pulled away, I executed the plan. 1, deadbolted the door from inside. 2, added the chain lock for good measure. 3, typed up a note and taped it to the outside of the door. 4, grabbed my overnight bag, already packed. 5, went out the back entrance. 6, drove to my buddy Connor's place. The note said, "Megan, you're absolutely right. I'm not your father and you don't need a curfew. However, I am your landlord, and I do need a tenant who respects reasonable boundaries. Your belongings will be available for pickup Monday between 2 to 4 p.m. Text me to confirm the time, the guy who's not your father." Currently at Connor's, watching my phone explode. The knocking started about 4:30 a.m. based on my Ring camera footage. She tried her key, realized the deadbolt was engaged, saw the note. The progression was almost poetic. Confusion, checking she had the right door, reading the note multiple times, angry knocking, angry texts, panicked calls, really angry texts, crying on my doorstep, calling friends. It's now 6 a.m. and she's apparently sitting against my door, alternating between sobbing and rage texting. Update 1. Monday afternoon. Holy hell, the entitlement came out in full force. So after she spent 2 hours on my doorstep, yeah, I watched it all on my Ring camera, she finally called an Uber back to Tessa's. That's when the real campaign started. First, the text barrage. I'll summarize because there were literally 127 messages. "This is illegal. You can't just kick me out. I live there. Open the door right now. I'm calling the police. You're abusive. This is because I wouldn't sleep with you last week, isn't it? I'll sue you. My dad's a lawyer. He's an accountant. You can't lock me out of my home. Then came the social media assault. She posted on everything. When your abusive boyfriend illegally evicts you because you have friends. Domestic abuse, need help, homeless. Tagged me in it too. Within an hour, her squad was all over it. Tessa, Brittany, Jade, the whole crew. Comment, toxic masculinity, controlling behavior. Call the police queen, sue him for everything. But here's where she messed up. My ex from college, Lauren, is a property lawyer now. Still friendly, grabbed coffee sometimes. She saw the post and DM'd me. Lauren, saw Megan's post, need legal advice? Me, is what I did illegal? Is her name on the lease? Me, no, she just lives there. Pays me some money monthly. In writing? Me, nope, just Venmos me. She's a month-to-month tenant at best, a guest at worst. You need to give proper notice for eviction in most places, but did you change the locks? Nope, just deadbolted from inside and left through back exit. Her key still works. LOL, that's not eviction. That's just not letting her in at 4 a.m. Technically gray area, but she'd have a hard time proving residency without paperwork. Want me to respond to her post? Nah, I'm good. Monday at 1:45 p.m., she showed up for the pickup window, but not alone. She brought Tessa, Jade, and some dude I'd never seen before, probably meant to intimidate me. Plus her mom Karen, yeah really, on FaceTime. I met them outside with her stuff already in boxes by the door. Didn't let anyone in. Megan, this is ridiculous. Let me in my apartment. It's not your apartment. Never was. Karen, young man, this is highly inappropriate. You can't just throw my daughter out. Me, I'm not throwing her out. I'm choosing not to renew our informal arrangement. Mystery dude stepped forward. Bro, just let her get her stuff, and we can talk about this like adults. Her stuff is right here. All packed. Megan, you went through my things? I packed what was yours. Left anything questionable in the boxes for you to sort. This is probably illegal. We should call the cops. Please do. I'll show them the lease with only my name, the mortgage in only my name, and explain how she has no documentation proving residency. They backed down on that threat real quick, but then Megan played what she thought was her ace. Megan, I've been paying rent. I have proof. Me, you've been contributing to household expenses as my girlfriend. Never signed anything. Those Venmo notes saying for food and stuff don't exactly scream tenant rights. This was true. She'd always been weird about putting rent in the notes, said it felt too formal. Always wrote random stuff like for groceries or utilities and things. Worked in my favor now. Mystery dude started loading boxes while Megan spiraled. Megan, where am I supposed to go? Not my father, not my problem. Megan, I can't believe you're doing this over me going out. I'm doing this because you said you don't need to respect basic boundaries. You were right, you don't, in your own place. Update 2, Wednesday. The extinction burst was magnificent. After Monday's pickup, I thought it was over. Changed my door code, smart lock for the win, figured she'd crash with Tessa and move on. Nope. Tuesday morning, 7 a.m., I'm getting ready for work when I hear commotion outside. Look out the window, there's a cop car. Megan's there with 2 officers gesturing wildly at my building. I went down to meet them, already knowing what this was about. Officer, this young lady says she's been illegally evicted from this residence. I see. Officer, I own this apartment. Here's the deed on my phone. She's never been on any lease or legal document. Ma'am, do you have any proof of residency? Lease? Mail with this address? I changed my address to here. Checked the system. When? Like, last month? She'd been living there 8 months and only changed her address last month. Even the cops looked skeptical. Me, she was a guest who stayed over frequently. We broke up. I asked her to leave. Officer 2, do you have any documentation of a landlord-tenant relationship? Megan showed them the Venmo payments. The cops literally zoomed in on the notes. Officer, these say pizza money and for wine and Netflix. This isn't rent. But I lived there. Ma'am, staying somewhere doesn't automatically give you tenant rights. Without documentation, this is a civil matter at best. They left. Megan stomped off screaming about lawyers. But Tuesday afternoon is when she went nuclear. I got a call from my building management. Someone had reported suspicious activity in my unit, said they saw multiple people coming and going at all hours, and suspected I was running an Airbnb illegally. Building manager, we need to investigate this complaint. Sure, here's my ring footage from the last month, showing it's just me and my now ex-girlfriend. Also, here's her social media showing she's trying to get back at me. Building manager reviewed everything, saw it was BS, and actually gave Emmy a heads up. Just so you know, she also tried to convince the front desk she still lived here. We had to ban her from the property. Tuesday night, it escalated. She created a TikTok, a whole-ass TikTok about being homeless because my ex is a controlling narcissist. Went mini viral in our city, 50K views overnight. But the comments weren't what she expected. Girl, why didn't you have your name on anything after 8 months? No lease? No mail? Sounds like you were a guest who overstayed. Maybe don't come home at 5 a.m. if you want housing security. Team landlord on this one, bah. She dirty deleted it by Wednesday morning. Then came the final boss move. Wednesday afternoon, I get a text from an unknown number. This is Thomas Garrett, attorney at law. I represent Miss Megan Walsh in the matter of her illegal eviction. Please contact me immediately to discuss resolution. I forwarded it to Lauren, property lawyer X. She called me laughing. Lauren, I know Tom Garrett. He's a personal injury lawyer who advertises on bus stops. Did a quick search. He's never handled a housing case in his life. Me, should I respond? I'll handle it. Pro bono, this'll be fun. She sent a beautiful response outlining, no landlord-tenant relationship existed. No lease, no documentation, no formal agreement. Megan was a licensee at best, whose license was revoked. The apartment is my separate property. Any further harassment would result in a restraining order. Within 2 hours, unknown number texts. Upon review, we will not be pursuing this matter. Megan's mom called me directly after that. Different tone entirely. Karen, David, I just found out the whole story. Megan told me you two had a lease together. We didn't. I see that now. She also failed to mention the coming home at dawn issue. I'm sorry. She's staying with me now, and we're going to have some serious conversations about responsibility. First reasonable thing anyone in that family had said. Update 3, Friday. Just when I thought it was dying down, Megan pulled the ultimate entitled move. Thursday was quiet. Too quiet. Should have known she was planning something. Friday morning, I wake up to 47 missed calls. Not from Megan, from my credit card company. Sir, we're calling about unusual activity on your account. Did you authorize a $3,200 purchase at luxhandbags.com? My blood went cold. Check my credit card app. 5 luxury purchases in the last 12 hours. Designer bags, shoes, jewelry, almost $8,000 total. That's when it hit me. She'd had my credit card info saved on her laptop for when she'd order food for us. Never removed it. Called the fraud department, had everything frozen and disputed. Then texted her, me, using my credit card is fraud. Return everything or I'm filing a police report. Megan, I don't know what you're talking about. Me, the orders went to Tessa's address, where you're staying. Prove it was me. Okay, filed the police report. Gave them the screenshots of her, basically admitting it. The shipping addresses, the timeline, orders started right after her fake lawyer backed down. But here's the beautiful part. Tessa's apartment complex has package lockers with cameras. My credit card company's fraud department subpoenaed the footage as part of their investigation. Got a call from the detective Friday afternoon. Sir, we have footage of Miss Walsh collecting multiple packages from the delivery locker. We also have her on camera opening them in the lobby and taking photos with the merchandise. She'd been flexing her fraud purchases on Instagram. Private account, but Brittany, one of her squad who apparently has morals, sent me screenshots. Megan posing with gifts from a new friend who appreciates me. Detective, this is felony fraud over $5,000. We'll be arresting Ms. Walsh today. 2 hours later, Megan calls from the police station. Megan, I need you to drop the charges. I need you to respect boundaries. Guess we're both disappointed. This is insane over some stupid purchases. I was gonna pay you back. When? After you got a lease? Oh wait, this will ruin my life. I'll have a record. Should have thought about that before committing credit card fraud. You're seriously going to let me go to jail over this? I'm seriously going to let you face consequences for your actions. Novel concept, I know. Her mom called next, begging, then Tessa, then random numbers I'm assuming were other friends, all blocked. But the best part? Remember her TikTok that went mini viral? Someone found it and made a response video with her mugshot. POV, you commit fraud because your ex asked you to text when you'll be home. 2.3 million views. Final update, 2 weeks later. The conclusion to this saga is chef's kiss perfect. So Megan got charged with felony fraud. Her parents hired a decent lawyer who got it pleaded down to a misdemeanor with restitution and probation. She had to pay back the $8,000. Her parents fronted it, plus court fees. But the real fallout came from unexpected places. Remember how she was staying with Tessa? Well, Tessa's landlord saw the arrest report. Small community, word travels. Turns out Tessa's lease has a clause about no additional occupants for more than 7 consecutive days without approval, and something about criminal activity being grounds for eviction. Tessa kicked Megan out to save her own apartment. Megan tried Brittany next. Brittany's roommate said absolutely not. Who wants to live with someone who commits credit card fraud when upset? Jade leaves with her boyfriend who said hell no. She ended up back with her parents in their suburb, 45 minutes away. But it gets better. Megan worked at this trendy marketing firm downtown. Image is everything there. Her boss found out about the arrest. Remember the viral TikTok response? Yeah, her coworkers saw it. They didn't fire her outright, but suddenly she was not a good fit for client-facing roles. Moved to data entry, which she quit after 3 days. But here's the part that still makes me laugh. Last week I'm at the grocery store and run into Marcus, this guy from our friend group who'd always had a thing for Megan. He stops me and goes, "Marcus, dude, I'm sorry about everything that went down." Thanks, man. It is what it is. Yeah, I actually asked her out last month and she said she wasn't ready to date because she was focusing on her independence. Me, when last month? Like the week before you kicked her out. So while we were living together? You guys were still together? She said you'd been broken up for months, but she was crashing there temporarily because of lease issues with her old place. The lies, man. The layers of lies. Current status? She's living with her parents at 28, which she used to mock other people for. Lost her friend group when they realized she'd been lying to everyone. Has a criminal record that shows up on background checks. Can't get approved for apartments because of said record. Working retail at a mall near her parents' house. Still posts about toxic exes but has like 12 followers now. Meanwhile, I repainted the apartment and it's never looked better. Started dating this sweet woman from my rock climbing gym who texts when she'll be late. Got a promotion at work. Turns out being well rested improves performance. Learned to install deadbolts and security cameras like a pro. Have a great story for parties. The other night, Connor and I were having beers, and he asked if I felt bad about how everything went down. She said I wasn't her father and didn't need a curfew. She was right, I'm not her father. I don't have to house someone who doesn't respect basic boundaries. What was even on the note, you never said. Oh, just that she was right about me not being her father. I'm her landlord, and her stuff would be available for pickup. That's it? Sometimes the simplest messages hit the hardest. Last I heard through the grapevine, she tells people I manipulated the system to make her homeless. Not that she refused basic communication. Mocked reasonable requests, committed credit card fraud, lied to everyone about our relationship status, expected to live rent-free with zero responsibilities. Accountability is kryptonite to people like Megan. The funniest part? Her Instagram bio used to say, independent woman. Now it says, everything happens for a reason. Yeah, the reason is consequences, babe. Thanks for reading this whole saga. Remember, folks, you're not required to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. And if someone shows you they don't respect you or your home, believe them the first time. Also, always use proper lease agreements. And cameras, lots of cameras. My girlfriend said, "You dress like a homeless person. I'm embarrassed to be seen with you." I agreed, I'm casual. Then I showed up to her company gala in a custom suit worth more than her car. Her boss asking why she'd never mentioned I was a fashion designer. Original post I, 31 male, got the text while sitting in my workshop surrounded by fabric samples and half-finished designs. My girlfriend Meredith, 29, had been getting increasingly critical about my appearance lately, but this one hit different. We need to talk about your wardrobe. You literally look homeless most days. I'm embarrassed when my coworkers see us together. Can you at least try to look presentable? I looked down at my outfit. Worn jeans, a vintage band tee with a small hole near the hem, paint-splattered sneakers. Yeah, I dressed casual. But homeless? That stung. Here's what Meredith didn't know. I'm a fashion designer. Not Gucci level, but I run a successful boutique label that caters to musicians and entertainers. Started it 5 years ago after leaving a soul-crushing corporate job. My workshop is in an industrial area, so I dress down. Why wear Armani to work with dyes and industrial sewing machines? We'd been together 8 months. I kept my work vague, told her I worked in fashion, and she assumed retail or something. Never corrected her because honestly, I liked that she didn't know. Previous relationships got weird when people found out. Either they wanted free clothes or suddenly saw dollar signs. Her text continued. My company gala is in 2 weeks. Black tie. If you can't dress appropriately, maybe don't come. The entitlement. The absolute audacity. Me, I understand, I'm pretty casual. Finally, so you'll get something decent to wear? Something like that. 2 weeks. Perfect timing. I had just finished a collaboration piece, a midnight blue suit with hand-stitched silver threading that caught light like stars. Was supposed to go to a client, but they'd delayed their event. The suit was worth about $18. Her Toyota Corolla, maybe $12 on a good day. Time to teach a lesson about assumptions. Update 1. The preparation. The 2 weeks leading up to the gala were illuminating. Meredith ramped up her criticism. Every time we met, she'd make comments. Did you look into suit rentals? There's a sale at that department store. Maybe ask if someone can lend you something? Each time, I'd nod and say, I'm handling it. She started sending me links to appropriate clothing. Suits from places that mass-produce polyester nightmares. One link was titled, Affordable Options for Looking Professional. Her friend Bethany came over one evening while I was there. Meredith had clearly been venting. Bethany, so Jake, Mer says you're finally upgrading your style? Making some changes. Bethany, thank God. No offense, but you dress like you raid donation bins. Meredith laughed. Actually laughed. None taken. Mer's co-workers have been asking if you're, going through something. Financial troubles? I told them you're just between careers. Between careers. I made 6 figures last year. The week before the gala, Meredith got desperate. Jake, seriously, the gala is important. My boss will be there. Major clients. I'm up for a promotion. I can't have you showing up looking like... She gestured at my cargo shorts and faded shirt. This. Trust me, I won't embarrass you. You say that, but you haven't shown me what you're wearing. It's a surprise. She looked panicked. Jake, this isn't a joke. My professional reputation will be fine, promise. She called her sister that night, thin walls in her apartment. I heard everything. He's being weird about it. No, he won't show me. I'm scared he'll show up in jeans. Maybe I should just tell him not to come. But that looks bad too, showing up without a +1. God, why can't he just be normal? Normal, right. I spent the week making final alterations to the suit. Added a subtle monogram on the inner pocket, my label's signature. Paired it with Italian leather shoes I'd gotten from a designer friend in Milan. The watch, a vintage piece I'd restored, not flashy, but anyone who knew watches would recognize its value. The night before, Meredith sent one last text. Please don't ruin this for me. Ruin it? Oh honey, I was about to make it unforgettable. Update 2. The gala. The gala was at some swanky hotel downtown. I arrived separately. Meredith's suggestion she wanted to prepare her coworkers for my appearance. Walked through those doors, looking like I'd stepped off a runway. The suit fit like it was painted on, because, it was custom made by someone who actually knew what they were doing. Several heads turned. Found Meredith near the bar with a group of co-workers. She was in a nice dress, nothing special. She was mid-sentence when she saw me. Her mouth fell open. Literally. Jake? Hey babe. Her coworker Denise looked between us. This is Jake? You're Jake? Meredith nodded, speechless. Another coworker, Trevor, extended his hand. Man, that suit is incredible. Tom Ford? Custom piece, actually. Custom? Trevor's eyes widened. Must have cost a fortune. I shrugged. You get what you pay for. Meredith grabbed my arm, pulled me aside. Where did you get that suit? Made it? Made it? What do you mean made it? I mean, I designed and constructed it. That's what I do. You work in fashion retail. No, I said I work in fashion. You assumed retail. She looked like she'd been slapped. Before she could respond, before her boss approached. Meredith, this must be the boyfriend you've been hiding. Mr. Fitzgerald was old money, the type who knew quality when he saw it. That's an exceptional suit, young man. The stitching, is that hand done? Every inch. Remarkable. Who's the designer? That would be me. He studied me with new interest. You're a designer? Meredith, why didn't you mention this? Meredith stammered. I didn't. What label? Fitzgerald asked. I told him. His eyebrows shot up. You're that Jake? My wife bought one of your pieces last month. The emerald evening gown? She's obsessed with it. The one with the waterfall draping? That was a fun challenge. We talked shop for 20 minutes. Fitzgerald was fascinated. Meanwhile, Meredith stood there like a statue, processing. As Fitzgerald walked away, he patted Meredith's shoulder. You've been holding out on us. A talented designer boyfriend? We could have had him consult on the company rebrand. The rest of the night was surreal. Word spread. People kept approaching, asking about the suit, my work, how to contact me. Several asked for business cards. Meredith's coworkers were falling over themselves. Denise, Meredith, you said he dressed like he was homeless. Bethany, who'd somehow appeared, you said he was between careers. Trevor, dude's wearing more than my monthly salary. Meredith kept trying to play it off. I knew, obviously, I just like keeping our relationship private. But her face said everything. Shock, embarrassment, and anger that I'd hidden this. In the car afterward, she exploded. How could you not tell me? You never asked what I actually did. Just assumed. You let me think you were poor. I never said I was poor. I just dress comfortable when I'm not working. This is humiliating. My coworkers think I'm an idiot. Why? Because you told them your boyfriend was a loser? Silence. That's different, she finally said. How? You deceived me. No, you judged me. There's a difference. Update 3. The aftermath. The next few days were a masterclass in entitlement and damage control. First, Meredith tried to flip the narrative, posted photos from the gala on Instagram with captions like, "So proud of my talented man," and "Love supporting his fashion journey." Her coworkers weren't buying it. Denise actually commented, "Didn't you say last week he dressed like a homeless person?" Meredith deleted the comment, then called me. "We need to coordinate our story." "What story?" "About why I didn't know about your career." "The truth?" "You never asked and assumed I was broke because I wear comfortable clothes?" "Jake, please. This is my professional reputation, which you protected by telling everyone I was an embarrassment." She tried a different approach. Started showing up at my workshop unannounced, wanting tours, photos for her social media. "I want to show everyone how supportive I am of your work." Now you're supportive? What about the past 8 months? I've always been supportive. Meredith, you literally sent me links to polyester suits because you thought I couldn't afford real ones. Then came the financial expectations. So since you're successful, we should talk about moving in together. Somewhere nicer. We? Yeah, I mean, you can afford it. I can afford my current place, which I'm happy with. But it's so industrial. It's next to my workshop. She started making plans. Expensive restaurants, weekend trips, shopping sprees. "You can afford it now," she'd say. I could always afford it. Nothing's changed except your perception. The breaking point came when she invited her parents to dinner without telling me. Her mom, Eleanor, immediately started interrogating me about my finances. "So, Meredith says you own a fashion label?" "I do. And it's profitable?" "It does well. Well enough for, say, supporting a family?" I looked at Meredith. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Her dad jumped in. "What we mean is, our Meredith deserves a certain lifestyle. The lifestyle she deserves is one she earns herself," Eleanor huffed. "That's not very progressive of you. Neither is gold digging, but here we are." Meredith's face went red. "Jake." "What? They're literally interviewing me for the position of your ATM." Her dad stood up. "How dare you?" "How dare I what?" Point out that your daughter went from embarrassed of me to planning our future based solely on discovering I have money. I left. Meredith blew up my phone. You humiliated me. You humiliated yourself when you treated me like an embarrassment. I made a mistake. No, you revealed your character. Update 4, the escalation. Meredith went nuclear. Started telling everyone I'd manipulated and deceived her. Posted a long social media rant about financial abuse through deception. Is that even a thing? The narrative. I deliberately hid my wealth to test her, making her look shallow when really she was the victim of my elaborate mind games. Some of her friends ate it up. I started getting messages calling me manipulative, a narcissist, saying I played games with her heart. But here's where it got interesting. Remember Fitzgerald, her boss? His wife contacted me directly, wanted to commission a piece for their anniversary. During our meeting, she mentioned I heard Meredith's version of events. Quite dramatic. I'm sure it is. My husband says she spent months complaining about your appearance. We all thought you were unemployed based on her descriptions. I just dress casual outside work. She showed photos, called you her charity case boyfriend. Charity case. That was new. Mrs. Fitzgerald commissioned 3 pieces. Word spread in her social circle. Suddenly, I had more high-profile clients than I could handle. Meanwhile, Meredith was spiraling. She'd assumed she'd be part of this world now, the designer's girlfriend, invited to exclusive events wearing custom pieces. Instead, she was the woman who called her successful boyfriend a homeless-looking charity case. She tried one more manipulation, showed up at my workshop crying. I loved you before I knew about the money. You literally told me not to come to the gala if I couldn't dress appropriately. That was about presentation. Right, and when I presented well, suddenly you loved me again. That's not fair. What's not fair is dating someone for 8 months while being embarrassed by them, then suddenly planning a future together after seeing them in an expensive suit. She pulled out her phone, started recording. Say that again. Say you don't love me anymore. Meredith, what are you doing? Getting evidence of your emotional abuse. I laughed, couldn't help it. Evidence of what? Me pointing out your shallow behavior? You led me on. I wore comfortable clothes. You created an entire narrative about who I was based on that. That's on you. She posted the video anyway. Cut it to make me look cold, callous. But people had context now. The comments weren't what she expected. Girl, you called him homeless. You're mad he has money? Make it make sense. Team Jake, honestly. Final update. It's been 3 months since the gala. Meredith and I are obviously done. She tried everything. Tears, threats, even had a lawyer friend send a laughable cease and desist about defamation. Telling the truth isn't defamation, turns out. The entitlement never stopped. Last week, she applied for a job at a fashion magazine. Listed me as a reference without asking. They called. Meredith Rodriguez listed you as a professional reference? I have no professional relationship with Miss Rodriguez. She said she helped launch your brand? That's false. We dated briefly. She didn't know what I did for a living until 2 months ago. I see. Thank you for clarifying. She didn't get the job. Sent me a furious text from a friend's number. You cost me my dream job. You lied on your application. I supported you. You called me a homeless-looking charity case. I didn't know. Exactly. You didn't know, didn't ask, didn't care. Just judged. The silver lining? Business is booming. The Fitzgerald connection opened doors I'd been trying to walk through for years. Funny how being known as the designer whose ex called him homeless actually became great marketing. Meredith still posts passive-aggressive quotes about narcissists and financial manipulation. Last I heard, she's dating some investment banker who drives a Tesla. Good for her. Hope she asks what he does for a living this time. As for me, still wearing my comfortable clothes to the workshop. Still driving my beat-up truck. Still living in my industrial loft. The difference? Now I do it with the satisfaction of knowing that when someone judges my appearance, they're telling me everything I need to know about them. Meredith wanted me to dress like success. Turns out, success doesn't care what you wear when you're the one defining it. Oh, and that 18K suit? Donated it to charity. Felt like bad karma keeping it. Plus the tax write-off was nice. Some lessons you pay for in heartbreak. This one paid for itself in clarity. When someone's embarrassed by you at your casual, They don't deserve you at your custom. Peace out.